Hey there, Toonami faithful, and welcome back aboard Toonami Absolution, where we talk about the shows that made us us and the shows that made you you. Once again, we are your hosts. My name is Alex.
I'm Sam.
And I'm John, and we're back with Transformers Beast Wars Season 2. If you do want to watch before we've covered Season 1, that was a whole list of things. There's a playlist for it, so you can find all our coverage of that, because we're basically going to be picking up right where we left off with Episode 1 and Episode 2. Episode 1, Aftermath, made its debut October 26, 1997, and Coming of the Fuzors Part 1, November 2nd, 1997. So yeah, as we mentioned at the end of last season, they did not have the 2-year break for Star Wars Episode 1.
No.
No. We're just powering through with good old Beast Wars.
Well, you have to admit the tone is immediately different this season. This is for anybody who's familiar with mainframe entertainment. Famously, when they were doing reboots, season one through the first half of season two is very light and kid friendly and like very jokey. Megabyte gives Enzo a guitar, and then we get halfway through the second season, and all of a sudden it's Cable. Like it gets very Dark Age of Comics very fast, and you can see that here. The tone has shifted.
Yes, I will also say it feels like the animation is a little more detailed than the kind of the bare bones environments that we had kind of seen before and some of the creatures. I mean, we do get some black arachnia in spider form, which is always appreciated.
Sorry.
Um, but yeah, so I guess should we
Yeah.
give them the story so far?
Optimus went boom.
Yes.
Last
Yeah,
time on Dragon Ball Z,
yeah,
Optimus
season one
Primal.
ends with cat. I also love the opening for the season where it's like you just get like the montage of stuff.
The really confusing because Season two's opening crawl basically shows the end of last season, and that's the titles. So we do this kind of flashback, then we go into the episode, we do the flashback again.
Hmm.
Yeah, just to make sure you're paying attention.
Yeah.
Optimus has died a second time. God, that's impressive.
Hey, that's more than the first Optimus. That Optimus only died once.
He's
Yeah.
racking up the numbers. Yeah, so this starts with basically the explosion of the big planet Buster causes a wave to go across the world, and anyone hit by it who wasn't born on Earth or is in a pod or the writers couldn't think of, becomes a transmetal. Basically, they get a new design. Can I just get it out there? Ugly as sin.
We
Uh,
got more toys to sell. More toys.
Even better, dangerous toys. These toys were famous, the Transmetals, for being chrome finished, and all the chrome flakes off into your lungs.
Yep.
So if you have a Transmetal Transformer, official line: do not lick it.
Yeah, don't lick it. It's basically lead.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
I
What do you think of the Transmetal? I hate most of them.
um, it's just a new coat. It's like what was the Power Rangers movie where they suddenly become all shiny?
Oh, that's the Power Rangers the movie, yeah, where they get
Oh
the
yeah.
super form, which is glitter.
Yeah. Kind just think of it like that. It's of the same era.
You put glitter on anything and it's immediately better. Like
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
so
mind these. They exist, but I'm used to Transformers looking weird.
I think half of it's especially for Cheetor and Rattrap, they have transparent blue plastic bits, and
Mhm.
it's very not a nice color as a mess. Cheetor looks like a mess because he's like yellow and blue,
Well,
two
and
colors that famously go together.
The
uh,
Cobalt Kitty, baby.
our tiger buddy kind of looks like a goofball, even more than usual, with the transmetal transformation, right? We also get the one of my favorite tropes in all of any animated project, which is to say, fall from tall height. And so, like that's maybe it's just me being playing too much Sub-Zero Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero, and seeing that frame on repeat.
I love how they knock him off a cliff just so he can show off he has a jetpack now because Optimus is dead, so we need someone else who can fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aftermath is a I don't like Aftermath. It was an episode I wasn't a big fan of because so much is taken up with Cheetor, Rattrap, and Megatron just showing off their toy stuff
Yeah.
for no real reason. Also, I need to bring up Rattrap in his new animal mode looks like he's been skinned.
Yes.
He's a very meaty red color. I don't like it.
And it only gets worse in Beast Machines. Beast Machines is terrible.
Oh, good, because it made me slightly nauseous.
But the Fuzors part 1 is where we start getting into the meat and potatoes, if we want to, because I don't know if there's a lot to talk about in Aftermath. Like, there's not a lot going on.
I have literally one thing to talk about in Aftermath. Did you know 2 characters just died?
Yeah. Why wouldn't they?
Terrorsaur and Scorponok died. They fall in some hot metal and they're dead. That's it. Goodbye.
Yeah, we're done with that.
It's kind of, and it's always one of my favorite things about the mainframe animation style, and this was true of the movie we just covered, Hot Wheels World Race, is I love the shocked face, and we get it in the new opening crawl too, with the shocked Transformer face, the like just the, and we get a lot of it whenever. Because there's a lot of like explosions, with this, like a lot of like Megatron's like, I'm going to get you now before I make a tactical retreat, where he just blasts, and you always kind of get that shocked face before they get blown off. But yeah, we lose 2 Predacons to lava, and they make that face. And
what I love is they specifically have them glow for a brief moment before falling in. Confirmed that was in case they needed to bring them back. They were going to say, oh yeah, Transmetal makes you immune to lava.
Hey, cover your bases. But, we have to remove some characters from the cast so that we can add new characters.
You know who we don't remove to finish this point? Waspinator. He was going to die. That's why he shouts, Waspinator is alive when he comes out. He was saved because he was too popular and because they realized there wouldn't be a funny Predacon if they didn't have Waspinator.
You have Vegeta, you have Hiei, and you have Waspinator.
That was my main takeaway from Optimus. Like, I kind of thought, let's kill up 2 characters. It's not going to mention it.
It happened so abruptly that I just kind of like, they there's a magma jet, and they just it's so abrupt and never touched on again. It's just like, we're moving on.
Or hell.
Half of my notes are like, where's Scorponok? Is he okay?
Is he all right?
No, it turns out not okay.
But no, now we can move on to our new favorite boys, the Fuzors.
We replace in true Transformers fashion, as we covered with the movie. We replace our fallen Cybertronians very quickly.
Yes, we introduced 4 new characters in this because we had a blank proto form with Rhinox's lovely smooth exposition dumping. It's like, it could be useful in the future, looking at the camera. So, yes, Rhinox, we get where you're going with this. You're making a friend. I don't blame you. I wouldn't want to hang out with Cheetor either. And then we get one who does like the classic Dracula hand out of the coffin, who then dies immediately. Then we introduce the guys are Fuzors. Please explain the Fuzors to me in a way I'll understand, because I'm very confused by them.
So the Fuzors are one of these Transformers, these Cybertronians, who have essentially assimilated traits from 2 different animals into their form. So that's why you have Scorpion, but with snake as tail, or Silverfang, who is not Silverfang, Silverbolt. Silverbolt. Oh, I always mess that up. Silverbolt, who is wolf and also eagle. And that way they can sell cool toys.
Yes. The odd thing is, coming at this in a post-cat dog world, they don't look like the abominations they actually are.
Yeah. They don't look like the eldritch abominations they actually are. And guess who's voicing Silverbolt?
He's on media as well.
Scott McNeil, baby.
Yeah. I like when they reveal that they're Fuzors. Like, you get the shot of Silverbolt's like mammal head, and then it pans out, and then the eagle wings like extend, and it's kind of the same thing with our scorpion snake. Like, you get the scorpion face, then it pans out. It's like, oh, by the way, that's a snake tail.
Also, you get the scorpion face, then the snake head comes into shot, like from this low angle, and I was like, where did that head come from? Where's that head attached to?
This isn't Yu-Gi-Oh! Who are you talking? What are we doing here? But no, we have 2 new friends. One of whom is ready for destruction and backstabbing and asking about everybody's 401k plan. And then we have Silverbolt, who is a special good boy who doesn't want to fight. He just wants to be a handsome prince, and we love him.
Yeah, Quickstrike is a cowboy for some reason, and Silverbolt talks like he's a Sir Lancelot.
Wait, for some reason, he's a scorpion and a snake. Of course he's going to talk like a cowboy. What else could he have talked like?
He's so very cowboy. It's very weird. He is.
It's like it's Android 13.
Look at my trucker hat.
It's like, I guess that pod, the only in-flight movie, was just John Wayne films.
Oh God. Okay.
Why? But honestly, I kind of love that because none of the other characters really have a gimmick personality like this yet, except for Inferno, and I like this. I like this a lot. I also love Inferno being used as a horse. Giddy up.
Well, I love Inferno. I think it's at the very end of this episode where what is our scorpion snake's name?
Quickstrike.
Quickstrike's like hitting Inferno with the snake bites. And he's like, pain is like is my language, and just does the Hulk to Loki smash repeatedly.
I was just so taken aback by him. It's like, oh, okay, you're just a theater kid. Got it.
Yeah.
See, but speaking of, there is, however, we finally get to see it, the ultimate theater kid of Transformers.
Yes, we finally get dropped that this is Earth in the most offhanded way. Because the big thing is Waspinator goes, oh, look, I recognise the markings on the moon. Because that's obviously, Waspinator obviously knows about the moon. Why wouldn't he? Like, look at that man. He knows about the moon. And then Dinobot also Earth. And they go, and Dinobot around and goes, oh, yeah, we're on Earth. And it's like, oh, I kind of thought that would be like a big sort of freeze frame end of an episode. No, we're just dropping it. Just dialogue.
Yeah, just dialogue.
I guess they realised we already knew, but at the same point.
Yeah. If there's ever any doubt, let's get this out of the way in season 2. The start of season 2, this is Earth.
Let's get this out of the way now. But Dinobot has come into possession of the golden discs and gotten his first soliloquy of the series.
He does Hamlet.
He does full Hamlet, and it's one of those, like I mentioned this when we were talking about the first season, like this character gets his roses in this season. This is where it starts with to be or not to be. That is the question. And Dinobot debating over his ability to survive in a state of determinism is genuinely something to me that does not fit with season 1. With him being like, could I survive? Is it worth surviving knowing that I have no choice? Like, that's such a crazy thing to throw into a kid's show. And I do want to talk about that monologue because it's dense.
I like what they do with it. Yeah, he's him arguing if the future can be rewritten. I do like the note he throws in there, like, oh, this is the ultimate power. I know what the future's going to be, but I can only use it once. Because obviously if I use it, then the future's going to change because I've just used this power before it comes into being, which is a nice touch. It's always my annoyance in time travel films. Like, oh, we must go back now. It's like, no, you go back anytime. Like, it's time travel, but it's got to do it at some point.
It's so interesting to me how much this show changes in between these two seasons, because again, it's that line where it's like, I will know the truth instead, then it will be either them or me that face oblivion, where it's like, bro, like, this is a show for children.
You're selling toys. Now you're selling shinier toys.
Now you're selling shinier toys. But notice Dinobot did not get a transmetal form.
No, Dinobot did not become special.
No.
He did not. He just gets Shakespeare instead. But I do like I like that whole scene because it does hint at what's going to come with Transformers as a property as we go forward. Like, this is where a lot of the roots of what will become Transformers Prime and Lost Light and all that's where this really starts.
Just to pull you up on something there, Dinobot didn't get Shakespeare. Shakespeare hasn't been born yet. Shakespeare got Dinobot in this continuity.
It's just like how Hamlet was originally written in Klingon.
Yeah. He was there. He was there in Stratford-upon-Avon, just in the garden whispering.
Yeah.
Psst, got a good one for you.
It's also great with Scott McNeil doing the Dinobot voice as he's doing that. Just to be or not to be.
You do really get the thing that was Scott McNeil. Like, okay, this is the demo reel. This is going to show what I can do. First Beast Wars, tomorrow Hamlet.
Yeah.
Like,
And he kills it. It's like genuinely emotional.
he does very well, but it's also just odd to go from that to here's Rattrap.
Here's Rattrap.
Yeah, with his
Here's
Brooklyn
Rattrap.
accent.
And we're gonna get a showdown at the OK Corral.
Yeah, this episode ends. It just becomes a full-on Western. Megatron has a pocket watch, and Dinobot, a man who I want to confirm is made of guns,
Yes.
goes to the base to get more guns.
You can never have enough.
A gun he has to cock as well, which is surprising for the future.
Merca.
You can never have enough.
I don't think that Transformers have safeties.
Well, I mean, treat every gun like it's loaded.
I mean,
Treat
true,
everything
but
like it's loaded, especially
that'd
when
be
it's
like
your roommate.
somewhere on like Optimus Prime, like near the back, like near the bum. There's like a little thing he has to pull out when he wants to fire.
Yeah.
I mean, when everybody on your planet is a gun, like, yeah, I think safeties kind of make sense, you know? Like, it's kind of like the My Hero Academia universe where either your head is a cactus or you have the power to like turn the world inside out if you sneeze, you know?
Yeah. Or stands.
Oh yeah. Either it's going to cling to your back and kill you, or it's going to, you know, undo entropy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give you frozen yogurt.
Yeah. I do. Yeah. Speaking to the ending of episode 2, or at least Fuzors part 1. Yeah. I mean, you even get the Leone kind of like, which is awkward because of, again, how these faces are animated in this season. You get the close-up shots as they're kind of preparing for their showdown, and yeah, it ends with a Butch Cassidy sepia-toned freeze frame as our heroes make their last stand.
We go for the full Bolivian army ending. It's amazing. I will say that ending is where my main complaints with the new forms come in, because the blue makes it much harder to see characters' expressions. Cheetor just looks now kind of permanently surprised, which doesn't help.
Yeah, just ooh, like it's always the
yeah.
Cheetor looks the worst, I think, personally.
It doesn't help. He has in robot form. He has the massive yellow chest piece, which kind of looks like. How do I word this? It looks like something Lady of the Night would wear in a 1970s film. You know, sort of the animal print massive top.
Yes.
Yeah.
You've ever seen the film Frankenhooker?
No,
oh my God, you're so right.
Yeah, you're dropping gems, John. I need to write this down.
Watch it with your parents, of course. The best film to watch.
Of course.
Frankenhooker Beast Wars crossover that everybody has been waiting for.
Just to note, Bob Ford in an interview was asked about this Western bit. There was a specific question. He's like, actually, that was suggested by Steve Sachs, one of the directors, during the first draft. I've always had a soft spot for spaghetti westerns, so I rewrote the scripts to fit, but I can't take credit for the initial idea. Meaning there were 2 people on this team who saw Dinobot and went, that's a cowboy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. You know, like, look, I don't know if you've watched The Searchers recently, but if you really think about, like, if you really think about John Wayne and you think about his relationship to the determinative nature of the Old West, like, of course Dinobot's going to fill that character.
You heard it here first.
Dinobot, heard it here first, guys.
Ethan from The Searchers.
Dinos can be cowboy. It's an interesting way to end this. Like, we're also playing around with the idea that, you know, these Fuzors are not going to be on the same side for very long.
Yeah, Sir Galahad isn't really feeling the whole evil thing.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be a Megatron-y type of person. I don't think, there's going to be some tension there.
Can we talk about when the thing that makes Megatron do a tactical retreat is he stares up the ship into the optimal ship and sees what is it, Rhinox with his chain gun getting ready to go, just not even firing, not even like he could ambush him from a different angle. He's like, we need to get out of here.
We need to leave.
That annoyed me so much. That was my sort of confirmation that Aftermath is nothing more than a toy showcase. Because Megatron is winning. He's taken out Rattrap and Cheetor, and there's only Rhinox left. Like, you could take him. Yeah. There's 3 of you. So can we talk about the Rhinox has discovered transcendental meditation B plot going on here?
Of course. Yeah.
Rhinox
with the Beatles.
Yeah, Rhinox was protected, so he was in a pod. So he's not Transmetal, he's just Rhinox, as he should be. But yeah, he sees a vision of Optimus's primes. I believe Spark silhouette coming out of the explosion. And then, yeah, he's out of action this episode because he is meditating in a weird device that has stretched his core consciousness thin. I can already guess where this is going. He wasn't very subtle about the whole, we have a blank now. And Optimus is still in the opening crawl, so...
Yeah, well, it's like, it's like Spock says at the end of Wrath of Khan, remember.
Remember, my contract won't let them get rid of me.
Yeah.
It's just funny that Rhinox is off doing this weird side plot while everyone... Like, this episode is like, Rattrap is in the base freaking out.
And For good reason, mind you. Rattrap has every reason to be freaking out.
Well, it's because Dinobot's off doing Shakespeare, Rhinox is off meditating. Like this army fell apart the second Optimus died.
Yeah.
And what really caught me is I'm very odd about Tigatron now. Tigatron is weirdly okay with all of this, because I kind of thought, like, when they started becoming Transmetal, like, Cheetor is now, like, a robot cheetah. I kind of thought, like, Mr. We must be one with nature would be slightly upset about that, but he's like, eh.
I find the biggest personality change between seasons 1 and 2 so far, we're only 2 episodes deep, is Tigatron.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just didn't seem to care. Like... And especially because, like, we see all my favorite shots is the outside when they go outside, and you see how the Planet Buster has devastated this area. Like, what, 3-4 episodes ago, Tigatron was trying to leave the war because we're destroying the planet, and he's like, oh, I guess to be fair, it's already a bit late to do anything about it.
Yeah, not like anything to be done at this point.
I guess it's hard to be an environmentalist after the apocalypse, but... So he takes it on the chin, I guess because he's got his bird girlfriend now, so he's like, okay.
Yeah,
don't have to flex my leftism anymore because I'm dating.
Air Razor, yeah, they do kind of jump the gun a bit in Aftermath, right? The two of them.
Performative male Tigatron.
Yeah.
They do start flirting quite obviously. It's like, guys, someone just die.
Tigatron with his matcha and his freaking tote bag.
Also, Tiger, your last girlfriend died like 3 days ago. Remember that Tiger who was crushed, who you never named?
Bounces back from that.
I don't like Tigatron anymore. Is Tigatron a fuck boy? I think he might be.
Listen, look, I'm gonna level with you. Certain Transformers characters are fuckboys, and Tigatron is definitely one of them. He's the one that is like, he's waiting for you to just be, a little sad, and then he puts his arm around you and wants to talk to you about Kant,
Yep, Tigatron definitely is one of the guys I hate in Berkeley.
It's such a distinct trauma. But like, what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's just so weird because he was like the strongest personality we had near the end of that season. He's just very little here. He's almost become Cheetor here. Like he's just like, okay.
Yeah, we are. What's happening now in this season is a lot of the focus is starting to shift onto different characters, and they're going to be given different ways to flesh out. Tigatron's arc in this is very interesting, and I'm going to be very curious to see what you guys think about it.
Yeah, you give somebody jetpacks, and it's just complete. They're just different, man.
Just makes you a different person once you get a jetpack.
Yeah. God, I want a jetpack. Oh, talking of weird relationships, the Black Arachnia and Tarantulas.
That scene was uncomfortable. I forgot about that scene, and it was weirdly uncomfortable.
How many times does Black Arachnia get punched in these 2 episodes?
A lot.
Quite a lot. But she does take it like a champ, so good on her. What was weird to me is it felt a bit quick. Because we get her waking up and like, oh, I'm in your head. And we get the really nice for me, not nice for Sam, shot of her on the web with the giant tarantulas over her. Yeah. I kind of thought, okay, we're going to play this out for a couple episodes, maybe. No. Rise of the Fuzors Part 1, he gets his own body. Like, sure, he can now make her shoot herself via psychic powers, which again, like, man, maybe you should have done that earlier in the war. You wouldn't be losing. But yeah, it's weird how like that played out just so quickly. It's like, oh, I thought we'd have a couple of episodes of like them fighting for control, and then he gets his new body. But no.
See, I think I actually have a theory about this. I feel like this had to be truncated because of the time period it comes out of. Because if you watch Transformers Prime specifically, this plot line is done a second time in reality, and it is played completely for horror, and it is actually really goddamn scary. So part of me is kind of thinking that maybe they couldn't have gotten away with as much here as the Transformers Prime crew got to get away with a decade or so later.
I also wonder how much of it is just toys.
Yeah. Also, you look at it all, smaller episode count this season, guys. Like almost
Oh,
about exactly half the episode count that we got last season. So they gotta move.
Yeah, they're gonna cram some stuff in there.
Let's kill some Predacons. Let's add some Fuzors. It's just like, oh,
get
okay.
rid of people as quickly as we can.
Yeah, shuffle them through. We gotta sell those toys, baby.
As far as I can tell, the reduced episode count is kind of a compromise between for not doing the full break to wait for Star Wars. It was that we'll do half a season effectively and then see how that goes. Talking of behind the scenes stuff, Ben Yee had a really interesting point that there's actually a dropped piece of lore, which I found quite interesting, is the idea that the Transmetals were originally supposed to absorb so much energon they'd have to release it through weapon fire.
Yeah.
Oh, gotta fire your gun.
Or fart, as we'll find out later, is how that comes up there. But yeah, the idea of Transmetal being kind of unstable, which I don't think we already do very much with here, which is a shame. I think that'd be an interesting way to handle the form.
Yeah. I kind of like the Kaioken, you're cast from hit points.
Yeah. I would have liked that rather than it being I believe, permanent change.
Yeah, it's permanent. Yeah. Wait till you get, spoiler alert for Optimus Prime. Wait till you get Transmetal Optimus.
I've seen Transmetal Optimus. I was looking at the toys when I was looking at the safety warnings, and he's slightly better, I think, because he's already bulky.
Yeah,
and it's Optimus. Optimus and Megatron are always gonna have the finer.
Yeah. I like.
I was going to ask about Megatron's design.
I like Megatron's robot form. I think that works. It's very classic mech. I'm slightly confused by the fact he now has a bird head on his chest because that's not a dinosaur skull. That is a bird. Not a massive fan of his dinosaur form. I like the idea of a dinosaur with jet turbines.
I was going to say the jet turbines. How do we feel about the jet turbines on the T-Rex?
Well, he's got to fly away. That's how he makes his getaway in Aftermath, right?
I would like him.
Yeah.
I would like it more if he wasn't like dirty bronze and translucent purple.
It's like the color choice. It's not so much the design, though some of the facial designs come off bad, but the color palettes are shit's whack.
Yeah. Even the blue, it's the blue. It's just such an odd color of blue. It doesn't go with anything. In like landscapes, it makes you stick out like a store thumb. Yeah, no, I don't understand why they went with bronze and purple. Just make him entirely purple.
I'm kind of curious about this on the toy production side because, like you said, don't lick the Transformers with the Transmetal on them because they're full of lead.
You will Rhinox.
Yeah, no. But I'm kind of curious about, because sometimes what they'll do with Transformers toys, they'll do alternate colors, kind of like JoJo. But I'm kind of wondering where these color palettes came from and what they were trying to tie into at the time, or if there was just something about the way that they looked that they liked.
It definitely feels like marketing had like a list of colors children like, and you must combine them in any way possible.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying the year if there's anything, because 97.
If only if it was like 2 or 3 years earlier, then we could have got like more neon stuff. But no, we can't have the nicest.
No. Yeah, it's a shame. I will say that it's not the. I did look through the entire Transmetals toy line. Not the ugliest Transmetal. There's a squid, which honestly looks like someone threw spaghetti on the floor.
Is that Riptide? That might be Riptide.
Riptide or Depth Charge or something navally.
Depth Charge, that's it. It's Depth Charge.
It's ugly is what I'm calling it because it looks like a horror.
But before we go into final thoughts, are there any Transformers lore questions that we need to leave on the table right now?
I mean, we got the big one out of the way with what the hell is a Fuzor?
What the hell is a Fuzor?
What the hell is a Fuzor? Should I be scared of it?
Should I be afraid?
Do we ever come back on the Megatron being able to reprogram you from a distance to change your activation? Does any other Transformer ever have that kind of like, oh no, I said the right magic word, so I must be evil?
So that's a weird one. Like, not really at all. Like the transformation thing, having to say it out loud is definitely a Beast Wars only thing. But yeah, what are our final thoughts?
It's interesting to be back. It does kind of in a weird way, even though it's picking right up off of season one, it does kind of feel like a new show. Which is odd, but because we still have another season after this. It's kind of looking at this through kind of fresh eyes, at least so far.
I enjoyed coming in the Fuzors. I'm interested to see where those guys go. Obviously, I've complained about the designs enough. Aftermath isn't a good way to start a season. It may hit harder if we did watch this as children would have and waited like 9 months. Like, how long has it been since we finished Beast Wars? Like,
Not very long.
not a couple of months, probably maximum. So yeah, I think that does hamper it a little bit that we're coming straight back in. We don't need these characters reintroduced effectively. But I do wish they had, with the limited episodes, I don't think we needed a full character cavalcade showcase. We could have entirely shown off what we could have moved coming the Fusils up and then had Cheetor and Rattrap show off what they can do in their new forms in the Western battle we're going to get, because that would make more sense. I think make it more impactful. Having them show off in a throwaway battle just feels throwaway.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting, right? Like, I do think that there's a massive jump in quality between Aftermath and Fusors. I feel like Aftermath kind of feels almost like an epilogue episode. Like it should have been tacked onto the end of the previous season rather than beginning this one. But I'm just very excited because season 2 is my personal favorite season of Beast Wars. There's a lot of really great stuff that's going to be happening. This is where a lot of Transformer stuff is going to get its identity, and this is also where Dinobot gets to be entered into the Transformers Hall of Fame because of everything that's going to happen in this season. And if you don't know about the Transformers Hall of Fame, look into the Transformers Hall of Fame. It is a genuinely bonkers thing, but that does mean we have pulled into our final destination. That's right. It is time for us to disembark from Toonami Absolution. We want to thank you once again for joining us and talking about the shows that made us us and the shows that made you you. We have been your hosts. My name is Alyx.
I'm Sam.
And I'm John.
Terrorsaur, terrorize!
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Rip Terrorsaur.